nhớ rồi trong nhà gì cái tên tràn hôm nay giờ lúc cho liền tu nó tiền nền của xa xong ốp hành nền của y của giờ bỏ đi vào do sự hôm nay của cho bé một sai cái charter lòn đấy tuần sai muốn bé hùa thì Leslie nữ điều là sĩ từ ở từ Minnesota House nhớ đầu district chỗ xa nhớ đầu lúc xong ốp hành nền của ai là tận đây nó nhớ đầu họ trong Saint Paul Saint Minnesota cú bảo tao thì bé cho tu chọn sai lúc chạy lúc nhiều thật xin nó lấy cú nghe là sĩ từ ở nó vẫn chữ chống rủ to lên là giờ này bây giờ này cho gì nhau nó khó gì khó chơi là rồi nhau lúc sáng từ nhau lúc rõ từ là bây giờ là tổ chơi rồi tổ ba thì mình tụi mình ở trong luôn năng lấy hạt tòn đấy họ đó là tòn gì cũng cho bé mồm nó hay ở bên đó luôn họ kỹ cho tới lúc đó hạt thì hiểu xong đi chả.
We'll go ahead and get started. Hello. Thank you guys all for being here today. My name is Ashley Yang and I'll be today's MC. I have seen Liz grow from a classmate into a teammate and into the leader that she is today, so it is my honor to be today's MC. We'll go ahead and get started with the programming. I would like to first introduce the parents of Liz Lee, Chow and Tao Lee. They both are community leaders and have lived in the East Side here for over 2 decades. So let's give a warm welcome to Chow and Tao Lee.
Thank you, Ashley. Good afternoon, families and friends. My name is Charlie, and I am Liz's father. Thank you for gathering here to support our daughter, Liz. Before I introduce her, I want to tell you 3 reasons why I believe she's the best qualified person to represent the East Side of St. Paul. She understands the East Side. Her strong work ethic and desire to help the community, and her experience with politics and public policy. The East Side is a diverse community, one that can be easily categorized into white, black, or brown community. Each segment of the community has complex needs and expectations, one that are best understood by the person who has deep roots here. And that's Liz. She was raised by a diverse East Side community and knows its people, our people here. So I believe Liz will be able to bring a community together as a whole, despite our differences. Using her deep knowledge of a community as a native daughter of the East Side, I believe she can unite us and lead us out of this pandemic and into the future. Which leads to my second point, why she is best qualified to represent Senate District 67A. As a parent, I know Liz has always been a hard-working person. I can tell you that from kindergarten through middle school, high school, college, and beyond. She worked hard to earn her admission to Yale University, so she could gain the skills to one day she can come back and contribute back to her community here. You might think that I'm telling you that my daughter went to an Ivy League school because I just want to brag about my parenting skills. But really, that's my way of telling you how hard Liz works to achieve her goals and the mindsets that she will bring to the Minnesota House of Representatives. Coming out of a hard-working class family on the East Side, earning admission to Yale wasn't easy or guaranteed by any means. It was a very competitive and hard process, but her strong work ethic showed through in every step of the way, to the Ivy League school and beyond. If elected next year, she will show the same dedication in advocating for all Eastsiders. And finally, Liz has the experience necessary to represent the East Side. After graduating from Yale in 2011, Liz went to Washington, D.C. to work for our senior United States Senator Amy Klobuchar, followed by Congressman Keith Ellison, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and lastly, Congresswoman Bonnie Batson Coleman. 10 years working for members of Congress gave her all the skills and experience she needs to represent the east side of St. Paul. She understands how politics works. She understands public policy. She knows what public service and constituent service are all about. Most importantly, she can leverage this knowledge and experience to represent the East Side and our diverse communities here in the Minnesota State Capitol. She believes, and I agree, that it's time to transform those skills and experience to deliver public service to the East Side at the Minnesota State Capitol. If elected next year, she will be ready to work on day one with the East Side delegation, the entire St. Paul delegation, and Governor Walz. She will be a good public servant to unite our community, to improve our quality of life, and above all, to make our East Side a better place. She will be a change maker and a uniter. Now let me present to you my daughter, Gajopa Elizabeth Lee.
We are so grateful to have you as our parents, and all of my gratitude to Ashley for agreeing to MC the event tonight. Also thanks to the volunteer crew, Mitchell, Adam, Sarah, and Eddie for doing tech. But yes, I want to especially thank Ashley for always believing me and recruiting me to be part of your softball team. So yeah, the reason why we're here tonight is because all of my siblings and I grew up playing softball at Hayden Heights. But I would also wanted to acknowledge before we continue that, that Hayden Heights is also land where the Dakota people used to live, and this will be important later. I also want to acknowledge that, today we're gathered here outdoors in less than ideal circumstances because the East Side, like many communities across the country and the world, are still in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so, that's why we have hand sanitizer masks if folks need it, etc. I'm really grateful to have friends and family members here, despite all of the risks that you're taking. I am very, very grateful for that. And I want to start with these, acknowledgments because, they show that we are at an inflection point here at the East Side, right? Next year, in 2022, Eastsiders have a big decision to make. Who you pick to represent House District 67A will determine the direction of our community as we rebuild from the pandemic. But to know where we're going, we need to know where we come from. So, every community that has lived on this land has contributed to it, right? From the Dakota people to the Swedish, Polish, and Mexican immigrants, the Hmong, the Karen, the Somalis, Americans, and our neighbors from South and Central America. Each of these communities have had hard decisions to make, and every decision made has helped enrich the East Side and build the community that we have today. Every decision we make moving forward will help determine the future of the East Side for our children and grandchildren. Thank you so much to the little ones holding the signs tonight. You guys are doing a great job. And I say this, and talk about the history of the East Side because for me, to get to where I am today, all of the ancestors who came before me had to make really hard decisions and sacrifices. Out of the East Side, but my story begins when both my grandfathers made the impossible decision to leave home in Laos and take their families to safety in Thailand, where my parents first met. And after their families separately relocated to the United States, they found each other because of my dad's will and got married in Minnesota. And when they started out their life, we lived in public housing while my dad was going to school, but when they were ready to rent and then to buy, my parents found it extremely difficult to find renters and realtors willing to show them houses that they wanted to see. So, my parents searched and they made the most of their decision, and luckily we found the home that we still live in today on the East Side, just a couple blocks from here. And around the same time, when we became residents of the East Side, I actually tagged along with my dad to an event with then Mayor Norm Coleman as he touted the urban renewal project that turned the abandoned Phelan Shopping Center into the wetland that it is today, with adjacent businesses and housing developments. People who haven't lived here may not remember that, and I remember that as an 8-year-old. And I share these stories because neither of my grandpas knew what their decisions and where they would where their decisions would take their grandkids, to the east side like this. And none of the community leaders who decided to clean up the shopping center and devote millions of dollars to that, to grow Phelan Village would see in 20 years. But everyone made these decisions with the intention and hope of making things better. So next year, you, the voters of the East Side, have the power to decide which direction you want to take the community. What kind of world do we want to build for our children and grandchildren and the generations to come? What do we want the East Side to look like in 10 years, 20 years? Will Phelan Lake still be here in 10 years or 20 years? We may not know what the future will look like, but the best we can do is make decisions with compassion and care. And this is why I come before you today to announce that I am a candidate to represent Minnesota House District 67A. Woo! My fellow neighbors, I promise to work hard and dream big with you. Together, we can reimagine the world we want to see after this pandemic and build a vibrant community that works for everyone. This means, that's right, birds, reinvesting in our students and teachers to address the major disparities among students and who have so much unfinished learning from the past school year. And it means no student goes hungry and we have safe and affordable and accessible childcare. It also means rebuilding the community so we can increase our affordable housing stock and revitalizing the East Side so that we can have good paying jobs close to home. And also good roads for people and public transit, because we know not everyone has a car, but you need that to get to your job in Minnesota. I've spent the last decade advocating for issues like health equity, bridging the academic achievement gap, increasing affordable housing, and reinvesting in public transit. I know how to design policies to help people, and as a daughter of the East Side, I'm passionate about making our community a safe place to grow for families and small businesses. So I thank you for being here, and I look forward to building with all of you guys. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Liz. Or Bing Pong Hyung Go Japana, Guyutun Sai Mong Ya, based in Porsche, East Side Na, Hyung Tande Na, Guyu Kia, Musherge, Bay Sha Nutuan, Simpona, who East Side, Lu District, your House District 67A, Sayoni, Shador, Gong Beta, to Tanagu, Besa, Baushe, your issue, care about like your issue, choosing to Shadow, now, Yalika, Tessapa, Bay, Jenny Mongya, Shaisana, Vaming, Donzi. For folks who don't speak Hmong that well, again, my name is Liz. Check us out at lizlee.org, and looking forward to meeting everyone on the East Side.
Her website at lizlee.org or her Facebook, Liz Lee for the East Side is what her Facebook page is. So if you guys would like to know more about Liz Lee, ask her some questions.
You got her over here?
Yes, I used to come to the district to see him. Yeah. I was such a strange child at like 10.
What did that like? You want to make sure you grabbed it.
That's right. Well, I also had to come to the
That's right.
Yeah. So, but I always loved it. So the sun is really tight along.
Yeah, I'm going to move her along, Gary.
I hope we end up with more of you around.
Yeah, no, totally.
We're not doing
Oh yeah, Dad coming out of the shower. There you go.
Who's that moving right? Ma, you tell us.
Okay.
Right.
Hey.
Okay.
I finally met your wife. I've never met your wife. Over there. Yeah, no, I introduced you. Yeah. This is a good cook. What good?
1, 2, 3. Awesome. Beautiful. One more for good measure. Everyone, yay! Say Leslie! Leslie! Yay! Awesome. Thank you so much.
ý trọng điểm gì cái tên là trả khả năng của bỏ ta là nó ya biết tuần sai muốn bị hùa thì Leslie nếu là chat tới thiết kia rồi bây giờ này cho gì sẽ được bỏ thì xong ốp hàng nên của ốp tận tên nó này là sĩ từ ở từ Minnesota hậu nhưng nó trong district trong chỗ xã là cho chơi nó là dừng xe tàu thì xong ốp hàng nên của ốp tận tên nó chỉ muốn tàu giả nên chỉ tôi chat tới thiết kia ổn đủ rồi bây giờ này cho gì nhá họ rong sinh phòn rong trái thế nhưng mà được họ còn nên sẽ được bỏ thì dạng cầu về mặt gì đó